How exactly are we still alive? Because let's be honest, something doesn't add up. We've survived the explosion, the crash, and the fall. We've survived monsters that should have killed us instantly, and we've been inside this factory for days without food, water, or rest. And yet, we're still standing. To understand the truth, we have to go back to the beginning. Why did the player enter the factory in the first place? In Chapter 1, we find a note that says, "Everyone thinks the staff disappeared 10 years ago. We're still here, find the flower." But as the chapters progress, we realize the experiments don't see us as a stranger. They recognize us. After returning to the territory of the factory, the first one we saw was Huggy, who just like before was pretending to be a statue. And let's be honest, Poppy Playtime could have ended right there. We were completely unarmed and killing us wouldn't have been a serious problem for Huggy. Instead, Huggy actually helps us and gives us the key we need. Then throughout Chapter 1, Huggy showed up in our field of view several times, but his behavior was kind of strange. Instead of attacking us at any convenient moment, Huggy just kept watching us. Huggy was trained to fear threats and only attack in that case. And that's also part of the reason why he didn't kill us right away. In Chapter 2, the main antagonist was Mommy Longlegs. And while Huggy mostly just observed us, Mommy acted completely differently. She forced us to play her games, which at first might have seemed like just part of the story and another batch of puzzles. This is where things start getting really interesting. Everyone remembers what happened after we got on the train. For a long time, everyone was convinced that it was Poppy who caused the crash, so we'd stay with her at the factory and help her kill the prototype and the surviving orphans. He's been watching you since the start, controlling every camera and every door. He crashed the train. You hear his tail. Then in a trick, he'd send you away to the factory surface with Yarnaby. You'd claw your way back down and destroy his gargantuan machine self, piece by piece from the inside out as he begs you to stop, while trying to kill you with his smaller form as he tries to barter everything. You realize that this absolute monster who pretended to be so high and mighty isn't such once he's truly lost. And he realizes it too. Now we understand that the train crash was set up by Dr. Sawyer to keep us trapped inside the factory for his own purposes. And this is where it gets really interesting. Harley Sawyer had been watching us from the moment we showed up, and the doctor himself talked about it in his recordings.
The others you faced, 1170, 1188, 1222. Been there, done that. Let's try our hand at something a little different.
We understand that Dr. Sawyer was deliberately setting everything up just to study us. He was interested in watching our progress and evaluating our abilities. That's one of the reasons Huggy didn't kill us. He was following orders and sometimes even guiding us all. So Dr. Harley Sawyer could, so to speak, entertain himself again. The same goes for Mommy Longlegs' games. Well, now the player is the one taking that role. Harley Sawyer didn't have the goal of killing us. He had a scientific interest in studying a new subject. But in the first 2 chapters, we were still on the edge of death at the hands of Huggy or Mommy. Huggy reacts only to a threat to his life or a threat to Playtime Co. One of the signs of a threat is the siren going off. And that's exactly why the moment Huggy heard the siren, he attacked us. He didn't wait for us to come closer so he could just kill us in the dark. While we couldn't see anything, he came out immediately because his internal instinct is stronger than rational thinking. Mommy's rage wasn't triggered by an order from the prototype or Dr. Sawyer to kill us. It was simply because we were cheating.
I asked you to play fair, and you cheated! I hate cheaters! Now, we're going to play one last game! It's called Hide and Seek!
It's very possible that Harley Sawyer had a hand in pushing them to attack us, but only after making sure we'd be able to escape or kill them. In Chapter 4, Harley continued observing us, and during a small fight with nightmare critters, something happened that almost no one expected.
I've seen enough. Thank you. You may proceed.
Dr. Harley Sawyer first released them to test our strength and agility, and after he saw enough, he simply ordered them to leave. I'm sure that if we hadn't eventually killed him, our life on the territory of Playtime Factory would have been way harder. Then there is the prototype. I'm sure that the moment we stepped onto the territory of the factory, the prototype wanted to kill us, so there wouldn't even be a chance for us to interfere with the processes happening on his turf. However, since we found out that Dr. Sawyer became insanely interested in us, it's very possible that he was the one who convinced the prototype to keep the player alive and observe him. Basically, even though the player's actions might feel significant to us at that point, they weren't any real threat to the prototype's rule. And that's exactly why, instead of killing us, he just kept creating the illusion of constant presence, which is honestly way scarier than instant death. The prototype clearly enjoyed playing these psychological games with us, and let's be real, he's really good at it. He allowed us to move further and further, giving us hope that our goal was achievable. But the moment he got bored, he just killed us. But there's more to it. If the prototype wanted us gone, he could have ended our journey the moment we stepped off that train. The reason he didn't is because of Dr. Harley Sawyer. Sawyer wasn't just watching us for fun. He was using us to test his experiments. Think about it. Every time we faced Huggy Wuggy or Mommy Longlegs, we were actually helping the prototype. By defeating them, we were providing the prototype with fresh parts. He didn't have to hunt them down himself, he just waited for us to do the work. And then he stepped in to collect the remains. Dr. Sawyer and the prototype were essentially using the player as a tool. Sawyer got his data and the prototype got his materials. We were never the hero of this story. We were just a pawn in their game. They kept us alive because we were useful. They gave us just enough hope to keep us moving deeper into the factory. But that hope was never real. We weren't outsmarting the factory was allowing us to progress. And as soon as we were no longer useful, or as soon as the prototype decided he had enough parts, the game would be over.